Welcome back to Dreams of the Nameless, where the Trump administration fabricates another emergency in order to sell weapons to Saudi Arabia in this dystopian moment.
A bipartisan bill to block an $8 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates is expected to pass the Senate with as many as 70 votes, including some Republican senators in this case. The arms deal, which was declared an emergency, has been questioned by Democrats and a small number of Republicans due to the many recorded human rights violations of Saudi Arabia and the UAE. It was declared an emergency without notice in order to circumvent the Congress. Democrats have argued that this emergency in general is false, in particular because there's not a basis for it, mostly out of the fact that the transfer of these weapons could take months and in some cases even years. So it's hard to say that it's an emergency arms deal when the arms aren't going to be dealt for years, to kind of rephrase that. Basically, some of the weapons are defensive, like missile systems to shoot down incoming missiles, but there's an unspecified quantity of them are purely offensive guided bombs, which we've given to the Saudi Arabians in the past, and they've used against civilian targets, despite us saying, hey, we're going to give you these weapons, don't use them against civilian targets. I got this article actually from ABC News, and one of the interesting quotes I saw is that, quote, they continue year after year in Yemen to hit targets that we have specifically asked them not to hit, and our response to that is to blow past congressional objections to give them these weapons so that they can trust us. Isn't the issue whether we can trust them? Asked Representative Tom Malinowski, Democrat of New Jersey. That was directly from the article there. I think that's totally true. I mean, is that not one of the issues at stake with Saudi Arabia? Is why is it that we have to prove that we trust them, or as he put it, or shouldn't they have to prove that we can trust them, not the other way around? I think that part of that trust must also entail respecting human rights and not killing civilians and things. So do you think that they need to prove themselves for us to trust them, or vice versa?
I don't think we should be selling anything to Saudi Arabia. Not a grain of corn, not fucking toys, nothing. Humanitarian aid for their people if they start starving them, maybe. But Saudi Arabia is in the top 10 wealthiest nations, so they don't need our aid. And their war in Yemen is straight up genocide, and also totally insane, and our involvement in it defies adjectives. It defies words like absurd, ridiculous, unimaginable, unconscionable, unthinkable. All of those, those words aren't strong enough to describe how fucking stupid it is that we think that we're good people and we allow our government to sell weapons to a regime that has a fucking king, where women can't vote, where they behead people, where they put people on the docket to be executed that are mere political dissidents or moderate scholars, where they fabricate and torture dubious convictions, and I don't know, I'm blanking on the fucking word for when you admit to having done a crime. Confession. Dubious confessions under torture from 30-some people and then execute them all. And so the mere question of, well, should we have a better vetting process before we sell weapons to these people? It doesn't even come fucking close. It doesn't even come close. If anything, why aren't we at war with them? Why aren't we fighting them to save Yemen? The fuck?
I think I would, not only that, but I think I would take it a step further back even. When I was growing up, I had this idea that, like, the U.S. arsenal was under lock and key, and it was heavily protected from the world because, like, that's our powerhouse. That's how we maintain America the free. And it turns out, like, we're the arms dealers. Why are we arms dealers?
Yeah,
like,
why do we sell weapons to anybody?
Yeah, like, square one. Like, yes, I agree. We should probably war Saudi Arabia if we're gonna go to war with anyone. But, like, for this whole issue, just bringing it back to, like, square one even, like, why are we selling our arsenal? I think there's a lot of issues overall with this story, but, you know, the basics come down to, Why are we dealing weapons? Why are we dealing weapons to, of all places, Saudi Arabia? And why is this even up for debate? Like, why is it being considered? Thankfully, there's going to be enough votes that it looks like the House and the Congress may get a set of resolutions to the president's desk. But then Cheeto in chief is just going to veto it and sell the weapons anyway.
Cheeto in chief. Yeah, and that's, this is going long here, so I want to end it, but
yeah,
we would be remiss if we don't talk about the real tagline here, which is, here's Trump again, pretty smoothly just dismantling the guardrails of our democracy and going around Congress and negating checks and balances. And I don't want to hear in the fucking comments about how some other person did this in the past. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about right now, our current president is undermining the very basic foundations of our democracy. And you should not be sitting here and going, well, Obama was a douche. And thinking that then justifies that, well, yeah, I shouldn't challenge the obvious evil that's going on now because a brown person that I don't like once did similar evil. I didn't support fucking Obama, especially in his second term. And the various war crimes that were committed, I was outspoken against those. So before you keyboard warrior in my fucking comments section, keep your fashy fucking idiot nonsense to yourself and spend some time considering how the current Republican president just bypassed Congress to sell weapons to a fucking fascist, tyrannical monarchy that is doing a genocide in fucking Yemen and killing people who were fighting the very people that originally attacked us on fucking 9/11 out of the country that we're now helping. Play the fucking music.